and it was crystal clear. And so I just believe that I think during, our struggles and when we get so down and out and we're just, we're praying and we're asking God for something, I believe in my heart of hearts that, he will, give us a sign. And I think that was just my sign to, prepare me for what was ahead. I didn't know that I was going to go through breast cancer or anything at the time. I didn't even know what the vision meant. But God brought it back to my remembrance. And I'm telling you, that's what really got me through, was because I held on to that vision. And I said, God, if I'm going to talk to a room full of women, that means I'm going to live. I'm going to live and not die. And so that's what really got me through. And so I just believe that God sometimes, even when we don't see it and we don't understand it, he prepares us, for things for trials and things that are going to come ahead. And so I just believe that that's what he did for me.
Amazing. And when you speak to these rooms full of women, what are you speaking about? Are you talking about your experience? Is there like a lot of questions and advice that people are asking? Mm-hmm. How does that work?
Yeah, we have, some, it just depends on what type of platform it is at that time, but mostly always we'll have a time for, questions and answers and, things like that. But mostly I'm just there to lift women up, to empower them, to encourage them, because we all have a story and we're all, going through different things, but I think the main thing that always I believe in that helps all of us is to have that connection, have that support of women. So I'm all about, women empowerment and supporting and uplifting one another and encouraging each other. And so I believe that, all of the message in my speaking engagements that I have, it's always about, lifting up and encouraging and sharing just my story on how I went through, and you can get through it too. But, you need that support system and just being, an ear and a support and encourager for each other.
It is all about the sisterhood.
It's all about the sisterhood.
It really is something magical about women together.
It really is. Yes,
so what would you say, then what would you give our young women as one piece of advice if you could say, talk to yourself, your young self growing up again?
I would just say, my favorite saying is always, this too shall pass, no matter what you're going through.
Love that.
Time, and even when, and even when you can't see, through the wilderness, believe me, this too shall pass. This will come. The rain will go away and the sun will shine again. And so that's just my main, focus is just, persevere through those situations, because those struggles won't last always. Things will get better.
You're here to show it. And now you're
That's right.
Now you're all healthy. You're 100% healthy, right?
Yes.
Thank
absolutely.
God. Thank God, girl. So yes. I want to go back to the nonprofits, because what a way to make an impact in the world. I mean, you started a few of them, but how difficult is it to do that? It's so much work and so difficult to rally people and to get funding. Like, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, it is. You have to definitely be focused on the bigger picture. You have to be focused on, the mission. And if you stay focused on your mission, when, you have to jump through all those hoops, you have to look for the funding, you have to, and the good thing about really my nonprofits that I'm really blessed with, because it is a global, you know what I'm saying? These are things that affect us all globally. So it's something that we all can relate to. We may, you know what I mean? Everyone kind of knows a veteran, whether it's in your family or a friend or someone, they know veterans and the first responders, because not only is Keeping America's Promises for veterans and their families, but it's also for first responders, because a lot, to bring awareness to suicide and depression and things that they go through, that I personal experience in, with my husband, as a combat, military police officer, and even as my mom, who was also an Army veteran, and she died by suicide in September 2019 with her after suffering with PTSD and depression herself. So this is a national epidemic, and it's something that affects all of us. And so I really believe that, and I'm thankful for the many, supporters and sponsors and things that we have, because it does affect everyone. So it's not like, certain, other, whatever, a nonprofit that people can't really relate to. I think that our organizations are very relatable, and it affects all of us. So that's helped. And then just the funding, you have to, you have to do your research. You have to, have your skin in the game. You got to put that, you know what I mean? You just have to put in the effort. And if you, again, when you take the focus off of yourself and know that it's, see the bigger picture and see that this is, helping a greater good, then it's all good. It's all worth it. It's all motivational. It keeps me going.
I'll say, I don't know how you have time to be a realtor and do all this, but God bless you and your energy.
Thank you.
So how do you get the word out about the nonprofits? How do you share this info? Especially now with COVID, now that you can't really go in person and stuff, how are you able to do that?
Well, I've been fortunate that as a military spouse, I'm involved with several Facebook groups. So I do a lot of I have a lot of support groups that I'm a part of, a lot of Facebook groups. So a lot of social media, helps a lot right now at this time. And then, I personally network with so many veteran service organizations in Texas, in my area, in North Carolina, because I also do a lot of North Carolina where I lived for 20 years. So we do things there as well. And so it's just really about networking. And then as my husband is a veteran, we are also involved in other, veteran service organizations, like the Wounded Warrior Project and Independence Fund. There's some amazing American, what is it? The Heal Our Patriots. There's amazing organizations. And I'm so thankful for so many of those veteran service organizations that are out there, because it's going to take a collective collaboration of all of us, all the veteran service organizations and like-minded organizations coming together to make a difference, because the VA can't do it by themselves, and not one veteran service organization can do it all alone. It's going to take us coming together, to really make a difference and an impact on our communities and for these heroes that we serve.
And we do need to serve them. I'm huge supportive. I want to be able to talk about this. We're going to share this on social media and everything, that we had your amazing voice on here, because it's such an important message to support these heroes. I just was at Dunkin' Donuts this morning, and I see there's a Coast Guard base down the road, and I see these guys come in their fatigues, and I always say, thank you for your service. They smile, they laugh, they're appreciative, but it's so true. I mean, look what they're doing. They're fighting for our country. Absolutely. I love it. Yeah.
Yes. That's right. They serve and they sacrifice, themselves to even their lives, and, their relationships, their family sacrifice. So that's why also, Keeping America's Promises, and as a military spouse, it's not, just the veteran, we support the veterans, the first responders, and their families. We include all of them, because when we can address the issues, within the family, then we build stronger families, we build stronger communities. The veteran, we're all, one, and we all have to work together, because if you learn tools and skills, we teach the tools and skills to the veterans, but then the veteran comes home, and then the wife, the family hasn't, incorporated any of those skills, and we're setting them up for failure. So we totally believe in serving the entire family, because that's where, we're the strongest. We're strong, and we're, there's strength in numbers. So if we can just continue to come together as a community, it's not about a competition. And, that's very hurtful, but that's some things that I found with my nonprofit, is that, when you're dealing with funding and community funds, it's like you're all kind of competing for the same dollars. But you know what? It's not about dollars, and it's not about the dollars. It's about the lives. It's about the people, so we can all come together and make a greater difference together. We don't need to continually reinvent the wheel. Let's pull our resources together, and we'll have a great impact.
You're so smart. I want to know, we have to wrap up, but I want to know how we can best, in our community of Supergirls, support your causes.
Yes, you can reach me by telephone at area code 704-960-6520. And you can also reach me at Extra Mile Foundation at gmail.com, or Cassandra, that's KASANDRA .A. Padilla, is P as in Paul, A as in Alpha, D as in Delta, I as in India, LLA@gmail.com. And I'd love to hear from you. We all need, to support one another. So.
And are you guys doing any drives or anything that we can help promote in the near future?
Absolutely. We will have some things going on in the future, and we'll have our website and things up as well. So.
Okay. Rock and roll. We are there for you. And we are so glad you could be with us today, everyone. Please listen to these amazing words that Cassandra told us. I love how she says, it's not about the competition. Everyone needs to pool the resources together. That's the only way it's going to work. We're all here to help each other and support. And these messages are so strong. And thank you again for taking the time out to share with us and be part of the community.
Yes,
Miss Cassandra,
thank you,
queen of nonprofit. Yes, you're welcome. And our listeners, thanks for being with us, listeners. Please reach out and check out Keeping America's Promises. Get out there and slay those dragons. Until next time, peace and love.